this brief. Well, welcome, football stalkers. Yet another surprising result. Mamelodi Sundowns 0, Baroka FC 1. Again, I say the same thing as I've been saying probably the past 3 games. It seems nobody wants to win the league. Chiefs hands Sundowns the ball, Sundowns hands Chiefs the ball, and so on and so on. Guys, your thoughts on the game? I'm disappointed, but yeah, how did you see the game? Murat?
No, I was saying that, I think, those guys were focused before the game, and then they had the results, and then it went to their heads, and they just went there and bottled. That is why for me at this stage, I was having a conversation with someone to say that you've got 3 games to go. Why aren't we playing at the same time? Because this is crucial time. We can't play at the same time in the last game. You start to play at the same time now, but that shouldn't be an excuse. Sundowns is an experienced team. They've got all the experience in the world, so they should have stayed focused and focused on the job at hand. But also that corner kick, I think the organization was not there. I think sometimes Kennedy can pull off great saves, but I think he's not vocal in terms of organizing his defense, because that looked like a free header to me. Something could have done.
Everybody watched the ball go in. Yeah. Literally, they all just stood there and watched the ball go in.
Yeah, you know what the problem? The problem is, if we look at against Kaizer Chiefs, where we basically trained on how to deal with set pieces, and one of the biggest mistakes we can do in marking set pieces is it can never be a zonal thing. A man-to-man marking is the best system to mark, especially when we look at the Baroka players, especially the defenders. They're tall, so you cannot defend zonal. You need to man mark every guy. That way, making it difficult. Because if we look at where the Baroka players were able to head the ball, I think I saw about 3 or 4 players in the same spot, and then you ask yourself, where are the Sundowns players who are supposed to be men marking everyone? None of them were there. So bad strategy. I don't know what happened from the Chiefs game to this game. Did they change the strategy of dealing with corners and set pieces?
I don't remember. Did you even have someone manning the poles, or it was just, I don't remember because
No, there wasn't.
It just caught me. I don't think there was anyone manning the post as well. Yeah. But for me, we're supposed to be experienced, and I can't blame the coach today. It's all on the players. But in this title run in, even though it's all on the players, in this title run in, and maybe I'm still mad at what we did against Kaizer Chiefs. I'm still of the belief that against Kaizer Chiefs we parked the bus when there was no danger.
Yeah.
We defended when there was no danger, and for me that was not only that was a sign of disrespect against the other team, because it was like we were assuming that we get 1-0. If something happens, we'll beat everyone who comes our way.
Yeah.
Because I'm telling you now, if we had played against Kaizer Chiefs and went on maybe to score 2 more, that 2 more was gonna reduce the goal difference. With a loss today, the goal difference was gonna go down even further, and that was gonna put us in a position to even try to score goals in our last game, just in case we need to score goals. And now the dangerous thing about this, a silver lining maybe, is because Polokwane are still fighting for relegation, and even Baroka are still there. They are not yet safe. Maybe that will help us, because when they play against Chiefs, they might still need the points. But depending on how other results go, it might, because we need to beat Polokwane. When we beat Polokwane, we might be making Baroka comfortable. And if that happens and they go to play against Kaizer Chiefs with nothing to play for, having either survived automatic relegation or having secured a playoff spot, or maybe having survived playoffs, then it's danger for us. Because for me, life has to be fair. We can't say, our coach always says God loves us all. Now, if God loves us all, when Chiefs bottles and we don't take advantage, must God now allow Chiefs to bottle 1,000,000 times? Even Kaizer Chiefs people want to win as well.
Yeah,
They've bottled twice and we're not taking advantage. Do we want them to bottle again? Until when must they bottle before we take advantage?
Yeah, Mure, the thing is, we're the same in that, we won against Chiefs, a good result, but we had an opportunity. Now, I need to say this from my side. How I'm feeling right now is not because of we lost this game, but I felt that way against Chiefs, that we let Chiefs go. Chiefs was there for us to take. It's even I would go as far as
we should have demolished them.
We could have been number one had we continued creating chances and scoring. But instead, I think sometimes, sometimes the problem with having experience is you go into something thinking that, oh, this is what's going to happen. But instead of saying, you know what, rather than leaving something to chance, because, I go back to last season. Last season, we can't use what happened last season as a template for this season, because we didn't know that Pirates was going to lose against Cape Town City. We didn't know. It just happened, and we ended up winning the league. Even us winning the league, I think we're playing a dangerous game against Free State Stars in that 1-0 game, whereas Pirates was winning 4. And I'm like, what will happen if Free State Stars equalizes? So we're playing a very dangerous
then it would have been gone.
So now, looking at the Chiefs game and how we basically let Chiefs go, and coming to today, where, I saw a lot of people were saying that we're playing against a team that is facing relegation, so they're going to probably come out attacking. Sorry, but they were playing, we're playing against a team that gets relegated, so they're going to come out attacking and all that. And I'm like, no, actually, if anything, if I look at the teams at the bottom who are fighting relegation, when they're facing the top teams or the teams that are playing to win the league, probably the game plan that they would go is to get a draw, because a point is better than nothing. And
every point counts for them.
Yes, and when Baroka started deploying the tactics and the goalkeeper and all those things, and I'm like, this is what, as Sundowns, we should have went into this game expecting exactly that. That Baroka, almost every season, Baroka is facing relegation fight. But when it comes to this stage of the game, whenever we play them, they don't go out all attack. They defend. They look for a draw or anything. And but it seems as though, like you're saying, Mure, I don't know how many opportunities must Sundowns be handed this season, because before you can say one opportunity was enough. Now, how many opportunities can we count that were given to Sundowns to overtake, and they haven't till now?
This gave us a present twice. They drew the first time, and today they actually won against Chiefs. We literally had a wrapped gift given to us like this chara, silver platter. Just win this game, go on top of the log. It will be very hard for Chiefs to take you guys off the top of the log. Tonight we fumbled it badly, and I think we went into this game thinking, okay, Chiefs lost, and we underestimated Baroka, and Baroka punished us for it. How Baroka didn't beat us by more goals is a miracle, but today they punished us. and over a corner. Because now when Sundowns plays either set pieces or corners, we almost always concede. So I was just shocked that we conceded so early. And Sundowns is also not the kind of we're not really good at coming back from a goal down, if you've noticed. And we always end up chasing the game. If we'd rather score first and then they equalize and then we chase to win the game, or we fight for a draw. But if another team scores first, it's almost 60% of the time we never come back from it. And today we tried everything, it just wasn't working. And then on top of that, injuries also now are throwing a spanner in the works. Jali's out now. Villa played less than 10 minutes and then he was out as well. Those Baroka guys were kicking our players left, right, and center. Serino, I mean, they marked that guy from the second he touched the ball. If you had noticed that if Serino or Mkulis or whoever in Sundowns colours, if they had the ball, you'd see a bunch of Baroka players literally surrounding them to get the ball out of their reach. I'm not even going to start about the goalkeeper because and I find, personally for me, that kind of goalkeeping for me is rubbish. It's utterly disrespectful. If your team is meant to win the game, don't waste our time. Not for me. That's
if I look at today's loss, I feel it's a combination of a number of things. The pitch is not doing justice to Sundowns at all. As a Sundowns supporter, I don't get excited when it's our home game because I know the condition of the pitch. I would rather Sundowns play away at this case, because you can see the way we're passing it on its own. It starts bumping and it's a terrible pitch. Secondly,
weren't our groundsmen supposed to come and fix the pitch, or that never happened?
Yeah, the problem is with that is that a pitch is not something that you can miraculously do it in like a few hours or a day and then that's it. It's something that needs a process that takes long. We're talking months. So and I guess we got the raw end of the deal when it comes to a stadium that we were given. And another thing, the tactics deployed by Baroka. Baroka were, you can understand a physical game, but I feel the referee allowed the game to be way too physical. Where
he wanted to be the star of the show.
Because now,
which also speaks to the terrible refereeing that's been going on for years in the PSL.
And today, Serino in the first half, he was nowhere. It's almost as if you were hoping that Serino doesn't touch the ball, because whenever Serino touches the ball, you almost sense that it's going to end up nowhere. Zwane had a decent game. Kulisa had a decent game. And yeah, Serino just wasn't there. And with the introduction of Keletso and Mahlambi, Keletso again, Keletso is hot and cold as a sub. Sometimes he's a super sub. Sometimes it's almost as if, what was the point of putting you in? Mahlambi, I don't know what's going on with Sundowns. It's almost as if nobody wants him. Like, I'm disappointed with what I just saw. We as much as I can point out the referee's decision and how Baroka played, but what did we do to win the game?
You know what, Ivan? Yeah, the pitch played a role. I mean, there were some passes where, you see someone is trying to lay the pass, the ball doesn't roll because the pitch is bumpy and stuff. But for me, one thing that really gets to me, there's this arrogance about Sundowns that is not backed by performance. I love arrogance when we are doing well on the field of play. Let us be arrogant when we are hammering teams. But now even from the Sundowns fans, there's this thing where we are the untouchables, things will always fall in our favor, we've got tactical master classes, but we're not winning games. So for me, that is the biggest frustration for me, that, what, life is just, life is fair, you get what you work hard for. I mean, we cannot always be getting things on a silver platter. We always say Ligia Verekelo, but I don't see it at Sundowns at the moment, and that's a big concern. And my other concern is that now we are going to play Polokwane City, who are coached by Clinton Larsen. I've seen Clinton Larsen time and again log the game. He sometimes has these tactics that are similar to what we did against Kaizer Chiefs, where I don't know how the points are looking at the bottom, but that guy can lock the game as well. And when he locks the game, we'll be playing away. And then the last game will be going back to that cabbage field, hoping to score goals. Well, with Leopards, at least, Leopards are a little bit reckless. They can just attack and open up at the back. But I don't want to go to that game, hoping that Baroka does us a favor and hoping that we score 3, 4, 5, 6 goals or whatever the number is. So this one for me is...
Yeah, More
in few sense again.
It's really, I guess the same can be said about other supporters, but it cannot be that as Sundowns, at this stage of the season again, we still having to watch 2 games. You have to watch 2 games. You can't just watch one. You have to watch 2. You have to hope, we are Baroka supporters. We are Vet supporters. We are, friends of who and who. Until when are we going to be friends of who and who? When are we just going to do our job? Do ourselves a favor? Because, I go back to the point I made. After how many games the Chiefs had us an opportunity to take the lead and we didn't? Now, who again was to say that if Chipa does something, who are we going to do something about it? Or are we going to be like, oh no, let's wait for the last game? I don't know what's going on with the motivation from the technical team to the players, but if somebody's going to talk about experience, this is not an experienced Suns that I'm watching. It's not a Suns team that says we are experiencing this and we're winning the league. When we're playing like we are.
Tonight we got cocky. That's for me. That was our biggest mistake. So we had Chiefs lost and we suddenly relaxed and thought, it's just Baroka. It's fine. Even if we play a draw, as long as we're top of the league, it's fine. And it's not fine. And I'm personally at this point, I'd rather we win ugly, but we are getting the results. Now we find ourselves ruining missed opportunities of winning games against the Highlands Parks and the Maritzburg United. I mean, if we had gotten maximum points from just those 2 games, we'd be having a different conversation right now. Even if we had lost the game tonight, if we had collected maximum points from just those 2 games, we'd be more relaxed. We can't always be clenching our butt cheeks every game now, hoping Chipa must do something against Chiefs, and then we must now, play nice with Polokwane City and say, man, guys, I mean, you guys are going to NFD anyway, so rather just roll over and play dead. We can't do that. Man. So now at least with Chiefs, the only thing now we can also is that they can't troll us, and we trolled them, but now they can troll us back, but we're both in the same boat. We both dropped points.
Yeah. But I really wish there was a team in number 3 who can just come and win this thing, and it's just that Vets Leona. Vets must just win the last 2 games and steal it from both of us if we are not serious.
Yeah, and I would rather have it that way if that was the case. If Chiefs loses their last 2 games and we also fumble our last 2 games and Vits go on to win the league, then so be it. Because because
I'm looking at
if
the next
Sundowns,
game. So looking at the next game, again we go back to assumptions and all that. It seems as though let me speak for myself. If I'm going to be looking at the Sundowns lineup in a game against Chipa, I would go as far as saying that I would rather see only 2 defenders and the rest attacking players, and look to score 6 or 7 goals, because we can't be going with this caution, 1 goal, 2 goals is enough, let's get the 3 points, because
game management.
We are beyond the stage of game management now. We need to score a lot of goals, and the intent needs to be, sometimes it's okay to be passive. You're like, okay, let's keep calm, let's pass the ball around. But what I want to see against Polokwane City, from the first minute, I want to see players running like it's they're only playing one half, to get as many, like you said, with Clinton Larson. I think the moment, if you score first, you throw everything out for him. His tactic is out of the window. And then he then has to start making some subs and start to play big. But if Clinton Larson gets the first goal, 9 out of 10, it's over. You will never score. And it's always been,
that's exactly what happened
whether it's
tonight.
Golden Arrows or whether it's Bloom Celtics or wherever he's been. If he scores first against Sundowns, he's done.
Talking about that as well, I know right back maybe it's a position where we don't have a lot of options, but against Kaizer Chiefs I understand why we need Anele. But in other games I don't see his role. The guy is supposed to be overlapping, he goes there, he cannot even chase the balls, he cannot even cross. I don't know what he's doing. Because we need that weight. We need that width on the flanks. He doesn't give us that. So I don't know, and I know we cannot rush someone like Tapelo Morena, but I think even this whole thing of trying Mabowe there when we need to attack maybe will work for us, because at least with Mabowe that if he's in that position, at least it will help to even press them if they are trying to play from the back. But again, sometimes those teams will not even attempt to play from the back, which might not be effective. But I think we need an attacking fullback. Lyle Lake tries on the left, he will try and then he will interchange with whoever is playing on the left as well, and then it works well. But today, at some point, we had Meza on the right, and we had Meza was moving between the right and the left. But when we had him and what's his name and Anele there, it was like there was nothing happening on the right. We didn't have any options from our fullback going forward, and that is a cause for concern. And I know sometimes our patient build-ups work, but today we tried the patient build-ups, we tried everything, but players were just casual, because I can even try to speak tactics, but I don't think the coaches got it wrong today. I think if they got anything wrong, maybe it will have been to motivate the players to go there as if their lives depend on it. That might be the only thing that they got wrong, because the subs were not very late today. They were a bit on time, and he used all his subs.
But there were also forced subs.
Just casual. Yeah, but that's another thing. They were forced subs. It was not like they were subbing because. So I can say they were not late, but maybe they were not late because players got injured. So yeah, that's the point as well.
Nah, the other thing is that it's almost as if you remember the game we played against Pirates when they beat us at Orlando, and we tried everything and we just couldn't score. Tonight looked like one of those games as well. We tried everything,
And is this thing?
It just didn't work for us.
Maybe it's this thing of saying we will do 5 in 5 in the last games, but who guaranteed us that we'll win the last 5 games? You know, that's the thing where you cannot leave things for the future. If you've got an opportunity to win, the best opportunity to win is in your previous game. If we utilize the chances in the earlier games where we were against Pirates, you could see from the tactics that we were happy with the draw. Why do you want to be happy with the draw there? Are you now saying that, you know what, you can draw against Pirates and then you will beat Highlands Park? And then Highlands Park
that was the
comes with a surprise. And then you say you will beat Maritzburg. Maritzburg surprises you. And then you win the next game. And then you say you will beat this other one. This other one surprises you. The thing is that for me, this thing of saying that it's Orlando Pirates, I'm taking a point. I don't want to say that nonsense next season. Unless you're in a situation where where you have played your direct competitor and you are ahead on points and you want to take a point so that they do not catch up with you, that you can do.
Yeah.
But when we go to play a team, play for a win. This thing of saying that, you know what, if you don't lose, draw, it happens once in a while. But the problem is that if you look at the log now, Chiefs lost more than us, but we drew way more than they did. And that is why we are not ahead of them. If we were drawing less, we could have been ahead now. But because we are drawing way too many games, Liverpool, when they lost the league to Manchester City, it was not because of the losses. It was because of the draws. The draws can be costly when there are too many. You need 1 or 2 draws every now and then. But for me, you rather win or lose if you have to, as much as you can. Because when you have got, 5 games, you draw all 5, you've got 5 points. But you win 3 and you lose 2, you've got 9 points. That's a difference of 4 points,
Well, let's
maybe
I can say Sundowns disappointed me. I don't know what to say. I honestly didn't expect that kind of performance. Baroka, as much as they were physical, but they seemed like a team that was more determined in the game. We weren't. I guess one can attribute that to arrogance. But we'll see in the next game. I guess this game of, I don't know what to call it anymore, still continues in the next game and probably is going to continue on until Sunday. These people are playing with their feelings. But let's leave it. But thanks a lot, guys, for joining the discussion.